FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried has been found guilty on all 7 criminal counts that he has against him and is facing a maximum prison sentence of 115 years. The 31-year-old crypto entrepreneur was convicted of wire fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud against FTX customers and against hedge fund Alameda Research lenders, conspiracy to commit securities fraud, and conspiracy to commit commodities fraud against FTX investors, and conspiracy to commit money laundering, CNBC reports.
SBF had pleaded not guilty to charges earlier this year, all of which were tied to FTX and Alameda. Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, said in a briefing, quote, Sam Bankman-Fried perpetrated one of the biggest financial frauds in American history. While the cryptocurrency industry might be new and the players like Sam Bankman-Fried might be new, this kind of corruption is as old as time. I think when he was out on bail, we could call him Sam Bankman-Fried, but now we pronounce it Sam Bankman-Fried. That's a little dad joke for all of our dads out there. But I think it's crazy. He said he didn't know that the hedge fund Alameda that he was chief executive of was giving $8 billion to FTX, the other company that he was the head of. Of course he knew. I mean, come on, obviously. FTX was in a great deal of trouble. They tried to have stablecoins with one-to-one backing with the US dollar, which is an insane thing for an entity that doesn't have the backing of the FDIC to do. But it's because, people want to trade cryptocurrencies and have a really fast return, and so they have these stablecoins because they want to have that quick return and be able to exchange it for US dollars. That's what gives cryptocurrencies value, is that you can exchange them for fiat currency. It's not this kind of independent currency, and so, of course, when you had the stablecoin lose its one-to-one backing with the dollar, a bunch of people pulled its money out because of that injection of a ton of money into the stablecoins. Of course you had people panic. Of course you had people pulling their money out of it. He tried to save it with his own hedge fund.
Right.
The company was worth $32 billion in January of 2022. This is a masterclass in fraud. I mean, he got people to believe that cryptocurrencies were valuable. They had their own currencies, their own FTT, their personal tokens that they have at FTX. I mean, he really persuaded a lot of people to invest in cryptocurrency, and then it all fell apart, and we don't know where a lot of the money went.
Yeah, and he was able to get a lot of celebrities on board with this. He had, I believe it was Tom Brady, and just a bunch and running ads for him about how great FTX was. Apparently, he tried to get Taylor Swift on board, and she nixed the idea, so good on her for avoiding that absolute pitfall. But there was a really big celebrity campaign to really make this seem like the hot new thing, to make it seem really cool. And clearly none of them did their due diligence to make sure that this was a company that was actually solvent, a company that had a decent enough business plan such that if a run on money, if some kind of panic occurred, that it would be able to stay afloat, which obviously it couldn't. And then also Sam Bankman-Fried has this political tie to the U.S. government because he donated millions, if not billions of dollars millions of dollars to both Republicans and Democrats in Congress. He gave, I believe, $5 million to the Biden campaign. And quite a few of the people who receive money from him have not made any indication that they're going to return those donations, which were acquired fraudulently. That's money that belongs to the FTX customers and investors, and they didn't receive a payback when the company went under. They didn't get their money back from Sam Bankman-Fried being convicted of fraud. He's going to spend a lot of time in prison, but that's only a small comfort if you lost a significant investment, perhaps everything, when you put your money into this company. And to see it go to political officials who are already mostly incredibly wealthy and become wealthy just by serving in Congress is an extra slap in the face. So I think every politician that received money from Sam Bankman-Fried should absolutely return those donations, or maybe at the very least give them to charity. Do something with the money to show in good faith that you don't want to have your campaigns propped up by one of the biggest fraudsters of the 21st century.
Yeah, and the fact that there was legislation introduced by Rashida Tlaib's office, it was written by legal scholar Rowan Gray, who's really good on the financial regulation stuff, and most members of Congress just ignored this. Like it was a non-issue. What even is a stable coin? Who cares? But a lot of them were paid not to care by the crypto lobby, getting a lot of campaign donations from various cryptocurrency trading platforms and things of the like. So they were paid to basically not do their job of regulating this. Sam Bankman-Fried would probably still be leading FTX. They would probably still be in business if they pass this regulation. It would give the kind of regulation necessary so that there was a security around trading stablecoins and exchanging cryptocurrencies for them. That really is what led to this demise, is them being greedy, them not wanting to be regulated, and them paying to not be regulated. And it has a domino effect. There's a lot of discussion about the tech industry, especially in San Francisco right now, how there's not a lot of tech investment happening. What's fascinating is Bitcoin and a lot of cryptocurrency trading platforms paid people to have relations with banks so that they would invest a lot of their assets in cryptocurrencies, which is insane, but they did it. And a lot of these Silicon Valley banks, like SVB, they invested a lot in cryptocurrency. A lot of the banks, the small and regional banks that funded a lot of the tech ventures in San Francisco, had their assets leveraged in cryptocurrency, and they're not doing so well right now, and that's really hurting tech investment. So this whole scheme has an enormous impact on our economy. If we're not innovating in the tech industry largely because of this scheme, that's a huge problem for the whole of the American economy, the world, if we're not investing in tech to the extent that we could be. And I think that's fascinating to really get into the domino effect of what SBF and people like him caused.
I remember when FTX was first tanking, the media started running with all of these really glowing pieces about how SBF was like this wonderkind and he had this mousy girlfriend who was supposedly brilliant. And he tried to pin the whole thing on her in the trial, by the way, which is unfortunate for her. But there was a video that came out at the point that the media was running all this cover for him and talking about how great he was and how brilliant he was. And he was talking about his political persuasion. And he basically admitted on camera that he was playing a game, that he was giving all of this money to politicians and Democrats in particular, because he believed that it would sway them against regulating the industry. And I believe he addressed specifically the idea that he is woke. And he said something like, well, the woke thing is a convenient reason or excuse to basically line the pockets of politicians and get them on my side. I mean, if you read between the lines, that was really what he was saying.
Yeah, it's like that meme. Oh my God, he admitted. He said the thing that many lobbyists won't say. Like, you're paying for them to do a thing, but you're saying you're donating to them, their campaign, and you just support them and agree with their politics. And, this is how democracy works. If you have some money, you support a candidate, you can give it to them. No, obviously they're making deals and exchanging things for, political favors. So I think that's what was going on here.
Yeah, and we also cannot forget about the epic courtroom sketches that came out of this, because somehow Sam Bankman-Fried ended up looking like John Cusack in his courtroom sketch, or maybe like Handsome Squidward. They created this jaw and chin line that does not exist in real life. So.
I want John Cusack to now play him in the Netflix documentary. We're all looking forward to that. More rising after this.